You are watching Everything Nicaragua. I'm Tony.
I'm Sarah.
And today we are in beautiful San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Sarah's going to share with us her story on how she arrived here in Nicaragua from Canada. So before we get started with that, where'd you start off?
I was in Vancouver, Canada, right in the city. It was loud, it was dirty, it was getting crazy. And I came to Mexico in January of 2021 and just realized that it was so much more affordable than where I was living, and I was already kind of doing half online, half in person, so like for work.
Yeah.
So I just felt like maybe I should push myself to make the transition. And then I switched my focus to Nicaragua because I had some friends living here,
right.
Some acquaintances who I just really respected everything that they were doing. I felt a pull to them even though I didn't necessarily know them that well. Everybody who was here, they all knew each other and I knew all of them, and I was just, every person that was here, I was like, I really like that person's vibe, something about it.
Yeah.
And then when I got here, I found out oh, there's a whole bunch more people with that vibe.
Right.
Yeah, it's wasn't a coincidence that those few people were here.
So when you were back in Canada, you were able to work online enough to be able to move abroad?
Yeah, I did save up quite a bit of money, and I knew that what I was doing in person could more or less be transferable into online. I'm a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And so with the gyms kind of opening and closing and just that fluctuation, I was starting to kind of think about maybe moving more online anyways.
Yeah.
And so I had kind of done a couple clients, but it was a big change. I had never supported myself just from my laptop. I was a career server before the pandemic. And I've invested a little bit. I've done a little bit of crypto and stuff like that, so I felt a little bit safe, and I had some savings. So I was like, you know what? It's affordable enough in here that you can kind of buy yourself a bit of time while you figure it out.
Yeah.
But that being said, it hasn't come without its challenges for sure.
What airline should people fly in your opinion, of course?
It's fine to fly with Aeromexico to Mexico if you want to do that. But once you're trying to get into Nicaragua, it's either Avianca or what's the other one that starts with a T?
I thought it was Spirit, but that's totally
Avianca was the good one for me. You got to take your PCR test 72 hours before you land in Nicaragua. You need to send it to your airline 24 hours before your flight. And just make sure you have all your T's dotted and your T's crossed and your I's dotted, because they don't mess around with that PCR thing at all, not even by an hour. And make sure you have where you're going, the address of where you're going, a number of somebody in Nicaragua. And the thing is, they might ask you these things and they might not, but
well, I think a big part that you mentioned that I was definitely unaware of was the 24 hours before you leave, you've got to give it to them.
Yes.
But 72 hours before you arrive, it has to be good for.
Yes, it has to be taken within 72 hours before you land. So there's no way that you can't do 24-hour test results. You basically have to do 12 hours or less.
Okay. Then you're in Managua. How did you get from Managua to San Juan del Sur?
Well, thankfully at that point, my amazing friends had rented a car, so they picked me up right there. It was super nice. They had a big house where we had 5 people staying right by the beach, kind of by the beach, and that was some of the happiest moments, as you can imagine, after just so much turmoil and so much unknowing, being stuck in the middle, finally getting here, and when I knew that it was my home, and just looking at the bay and these pictures and videos that I had seen and been watching. Those times when I went home from the airport, I actually watched your videos, and I was just wanting to give up, and I was just no man, I want to go to this place.
Yes, that dude can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
Yeah, I want to be here. And so their house was great, and I've lived in a few places now since being here, and it's great. As I've been here longer and longer, I'm just loving it more and more.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, now way back up to before all this started, how did you choose San Juan del Sur?
Well, a big motivating factor was the fact that there were people here, but the other motivating factor was the fact that it's so affordable, and I just didn't know how it would go. I mean, I'm a new business owner, freshly supporting myself online, so I wanted to have as little pressure on myself as possible.
Yeah. And
I also loved that it was small. So after living in Vancouver through all this, the sirens, the loudness, the people, I was ready for more community. And I knew that there was about 15,000 people that live here, which I've been to music festivals with triple that.
Yeah.
So that was really appealing, just the fact that it was quaint and not overwhelming, and all these things. I loved how lush it was here. I loved how it just felt like there was this untapped place. Every time I would look at videos of the beaches, I'm is there anybody in this country? Nobody here, and it's so beautiful,
Absolutely.
So all of that was appealing. And yeah, as well, just I liked when I saw the videos or the pictures that I would see, just the fact that it was kind of a surfer cool vibe, and seemed like a backpacker kind of place, which I've been a backpacker before, so that was kind of appealing. And there was lots, I don't know why, but there was the reason I was so determined to come here was my intuition started screaming at me. I would try and go to bed at night before I booked my first flight, and as soon as I'd close my eyes, in my ears all I could hear was Nicaragua. And then it would get louder. It would be like, Nicaragua. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? Like, I couldn't sleep. Like, it was keeping me up. And I just knew I needed to come here for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar for me. Like, once we figured out, my wife, she went to a yoga teacher training here like 10 years ago or something.
Oh, wow.
And we just got our tax refund, and we were like, let's get out of Canada because it's so cold. So we went on a 30-day vacation. We chose Nicaragua, and we couldn't find any information on it. It was hard, and there were no videos, there was nothing. So all we were finding was Costa Rica.
Right.
And as soon as I was researching the prices of Costa Rica, I was like, it's cool, but it's like my parents' generation. They got Costa Rica.
Yeah.
And I feel Nicaragua's like my generation.
Yeah,
this is my thing, you know.
Yeah, it totally is.
So yeah, once about 6 months before we decided and actually were coming, I was just watching as much as I could, and it just seemed like how come that place doesn't have 200 people on that surf break?
That's what I was thinking.
Why
too.
not?
Why not? It's such a beautiful beach, and this guy's like turning his camera around. I'm like, there is nobody on this beach.
It's amazing.
Like, and now I know it's like Yankee. There's nobody at Yankee ever.
Nothing.
Nobody.
And it's unbelievable. So let's talk a little cost real quick.
Yeah.
So apartment living.
Yeah.
So what's your apartment like? Where is it located? And about how much do you pay, if you don't mind me?
Don't mind at all. So I've had a couple of places. The place I'm currently in is probably the nicest. So it's kind of a laneway house to a mansion.
What is a laneway house?
So it's like a big house, and then you just have like a whole separate house, and it's usually used as like a guest house, or that's what we call it in Canada, is a laneway house.
All right.
So it could be like a garage that's repurposed, something like that. But in my case, it used to be a 2-bedroom place that was freshly renovated. I'm the first person in it since it was renovated.
Sweet.
So I got hot water.
Yeah,
as you know,
that's good.
Luxurious.
Yeah, it is.
The real luxury, man, I got a washer and a dryer. Brand new washer dryer. That's unheard of here.
That's
Period.
crazy.
Unheard of. I have a California king bed, a TV, tons of storage. I've got so my room, I've got a dining little room, and then I got my kitchen. I have a separate entrance. It's gated, and it's right by the cemetery. So it's about 7 minutes walk from town. Actually, sorry, more like 15 walk, or a 7-minute car ride. And it's really nice. It's all really renovated, and it's $400 a month. And that's like expensive.
That is expensive.
That is a lot. Like I was other places I was looking at were about $230 to $250.
Yeah.
But previously I had been living in Madeiras, right by the beach, below Hush. There's like a nice house.
Yeah.
And that was $600 a month, and I had 5 roommates, which I don't mind that style of living either. I actually really like it, especially when you're by yourself.
But not for $600.
Not for $600. No.
What are you doing?
No. It was too much, and I kind of knew that, but I was just like, it was a temporary thing. And then before that place, I was living in a little casita with a beautiful pool in its own compound for $300 a month.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, it's listed on Airbnb for $1,700.
Totally.
So
that's totally true. Like the whole Airbnb thing, it's just
boots on the ground.
Yeah, man.
Be here.
we got here. We booked 2 nights at Airbnb. 3 kids. You know, we came here and we had 2 nights at Airbnb, and that was the most expensive place we've stayed.
Right. Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And the places we stayed in, I mean, there was COVID, so that was a huge advantage for me.
Yeah.
But like some of the places that we stayed on the beach were like $2,700, and I was paying $600.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
When my friends were here, we stayed in a place up at El Cielo, way up on the hill. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous view. Yeah. I think it was like $250 a night.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that adds up to a month, a lot. My friends are staying there, 3 of them, in a beautiful place with their own private pool, nicer than what we rented. I think they pay $1,600, $1,700, and that again, that's like a lot. That's
like a really bad apartment in Kelowna.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like a really bad one.
Yeah. And it has like 3 master bedrooms and a pool, like its own like its deck is bigger than my apartment. The view is.
Was it your friend's house you were going to the go away party?
Yeah.
I was there last night. It was like Yo MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So that was crazy. But yeah, I found in San Juan del Sur, if you want to live here, like you can literally do it. Like I haven't found that. You got a gem. That's a gem.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
But I got a studio apartment just above this place up here.
Oh yeah.
And it's $350 a month.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's really nice, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's like it depends what your comfortability is with living. I mean, my place still has things like ants because it is an older building and stuff like that. So there's still things that but my first place that I lived here for $300, you got to prepare yourself for a bit of a standard of living difference. Like we had a couple floods and there's ants, and you kind of have to like just get into it. You have to just accept that it's just different.
Yeah.
You know, there are going to be.
If you try and live American or Canadian in Nicaragua, it is more expensive than living Canadian, Nicaragua in Canada.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I
like
agree.
if you eat imported food all the time, it adds up super quick.
Right.
And you're like, dude, I spent $1,000 on food this month.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you eat Nicaraguan, like I've now found a way to eat. Every meal out is between $3 and $4.
Yeah.
I'll go into a fancy place, have a club soda, get the vibe, it's rad, and then I'll go hit the street and I know who's cooking what.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm so cheap now. I'm like anything more. If like $4 for a meal is even put. Like $5 is like.
$5 is I'm walking out usually.
Yeah, $10 is like once a month if it's a friend's party or whatever. You know what I mean?
We gotta do it.
It's so funny. Like my friend's mom was here visiting, and she's like, you know, she's like paying for him and her, and she's like, wow, dinner was only $30, and he's like, I would never pay that. So expensive. Never.
$30 is far too much.
Way too much. But she's just like, what are you talking about? At home it'd be like 50 or 60 for a nice restaurant, and that's true.
Yeah.
But your standard's just like, now I'm like, yeah, $2 or $3 for a meal is right around where I want to be.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Totally. And I don't need anything extra. And I love, like, I've found that the experience that I get in like a local place where they're cooking and you know, when it's mainly locals, that's where I look. I go like, where are local people eating? Tons of locals. That's where I want to try.
Right.
And it's usually the best food. But I find sitting on a plastic chair, you know, at like a little wooden table or whatever, being just as cool as sitting on an IKEA chair and table that they imported with, you know.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, like everybody's got to go have dinner at Hush once.
Yeah, you should
For sure.
Yeah.
But like, I agree. When it's just day-to-day stuff, like the food is great. Not only that, like you feel like you're actually making a difference in the lives of locals.
Totally.
And like they're just grateful for your business, and you get to try the real food, and the food here is just so wholesome and so good and makes you feel so good. And everyone that I've known that's moved here, like I've just seen their faces look younger. Like they like everyone, I don't know. For me, I feel so much healthier being here.
Absolutely.
So much healthier. It's unbelievable.
So we talked a bit. Did we talk a bit about why we came? What was day-to-day life like in Vancouver for you?
So I lived right in the middle of downtown Vancouver. I used to work in nightclubs. I opened 3 or 4 nightclubs in Vancouver. I was a bottle service girl. So it was super cool life when I was living right downtown. I'd walk to work at the club, walk home like in my heels, feeling so good. And then COVID happened. And it became a different climate. It was sirens all the time. It was smog. It was a lot of just just so many people in one place. The energy being what it was, like it was just really starting to heavy on me. Like I wanted to either get out of the city, or I mean, even though the thing was, I still just felt like getting out of the city wouldn't really remove what I was not enjoying about it fully, like leaving the country would. So why did I want to leave? I've always wanted to be an expat. My brother is really successful and lives in Thailand, and he has for probably 7 years. And when I visited him, I just realized like the capabilities of what being an expat can offer you. And I mean, Vancouver is so expensive. I remember saying to my dad for a long time, like, I believe that I'm going to go somewhere for a few years and just get more momentum in life and come back to Vancouver when I feel ready. And that's just because in Vancouver, it's extraordinarily hard to build wealth. You know, like even if you make 10 grand a month, it just really doesn't go that far.
No.
It doesn't. Like your rent's $3 grand, your car is $1,000.
It doesn't work.
You can't get ahead of the curve. So here it's like, you know, you can make $3 grand a month here and be saving more than making 10 grand a month at home. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I always knew that this was going to be something that I wanted to do in my life, and just like the climate at home, it just kind of pushed me, and just job insecurity. A big motivating factor for me was also the gym. The gym is my career at the time, and it's also like how I take care of myself mentally, physically, emotionally, and just having it be tossed around so flippantly, like now you got it, now you don't, now you got it, now you don't. It was like I can't do it anymore. So I just needed to be like, I just want to be in a routine. I just want to work. Just want to be able to see my friends. I just want to do life. That's it. And so that's why I came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, let's talk about why we stayed.
Yeah.
How long have you been?
I have been here since October.
All right.
Yeah, so about 4 months at this point, 4 or 5 months.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm staying because I'm meeting more and more amazing people here.
Yeah. Just
loving the community. I'm really loving just now that I know where to eat, all that kind of stuff, loving that. Loving exploring more to different beaches. And it just feels comfortable for me. I feel really happy here, and I feel like now that I'm kind of settling in, like the first few months were not always the easiest.
Yep.
But now that I'm kind of settled in, I have my routine. I'm really happy with how my business is going. I'm really happy with how work is going. and I feel that I'm poised to make a big move in my life and move forward.
Yeah. So back to the making 10 grand a month and stuff in Canada or North America is I stopped saying that because I would make more and more money, and
it feels like you have less.
It's not even true. This is what I've decided. The amount of money I make is how much money I've saved at the end of the year.
Right.
And it was negative.
It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
I always spent more than what I earned, regardless of how much I made. So if I look at it here, I go, dude, if I have 20 bucks at the end of the month, it's like, dude, I'm like a couple $1,000 up from where it was if I was back home. So that was a pretty eye-opening experience for me. And switching my habits into now I enjoy, like, if we're to go get some food, I would enjoy the challenge of where's the best bang for the buck. You think you know, I think I know, let's figure it out, you know?
Yeah, and like, it's like if you're down to your last $50, like that's like a week of living, you're chilling. Yeah. Like, you're good.
You can be all right. If you got $50, something will work out.
Right, and it's just easier to really live on the cheap. It's less stressful. It's just, people have more time for you here, you know. In Vancouver, it was like, you see your friend for the first time in 2 years, and it's like a Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. You're both within your second jobs, and like, okay, I got half an hour. Tell me what the last 2 years of your life. Let's go.
Totally, yeah.
And it just, here, my first week, I sat down with 2 friends, had a 2-hour breakfast with them. I just felt the luxury of what it feels like to sit with somebody and chat with them for 2 hours.
That's one of the best things is the time. It's like time isn't there. It's just like right now, I don't know how long we've been talking.
Nor do I.
Normally, we got 30-minute time, you know, like bop, 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 and it's just
not how people are meant to be. Sometimes I'll just be sitting at the beach and I'll just stare. I'll just stare and just breathe. And like, I think that's actually a form of meditating. And I'll tell you what, I never was able to meditate at home, but here I don't even call it meditating. I just call it like
staring,
just enjoying the moment. Yeah, just like loving it, loving life and breathing and just taking it all in. And I think that's what humans are meant to have, that space. Yeah. I believe.
So there's one thing I'll bring it up with you is that the reason I think I stay, no matter what happens so far in my 2 years and a couple months now, has been when I was back at home, because it seems like you're very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you got a lot
going on. I got going on,
yeah, for sure. And so do I. So when I would go to sleep, before I would finally pass out and be like in REM or dark sleep, it would be like, okay, if I do this and this and this, then that's probably going to work out. Okay, then I got this tomorrow. If I get that taken care of, then that'll probably work. Oh wait, that'll mess up that. You know, and it would just go on and on.
Tetris of time.
Yeah, Tetris of time. How am I going to make it all work for tomorrow? And then I just fall asleep. And here it doesn't happen.
No.
I just go to my bed and I close my eyes. I kind of say thank you for an awesome day.
Yeah.
And then I'm out, and then I wake up and I say, sweet, here we go again.
And it just feels like there's so much less time. There's not any rat race. Like, I mean, it's also because I don't spend time. I don't feel that much of a need to be distracted here with like TV and movies.
I don't even have a TV.
I have a TV that I have never turned on.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll watch a YouTube video here and there, you know, like have moments, like maybe 20 minutes. But it's not like at home where I'd be so stressed out and exhausted from the day. And I come home and
watch 5
hours.
I do not binge watch.
No,
don't do it.
No, doesn't happen.
0%.
Doesn't happen. And when you don't have those activities in your life, like you have the time in your day to sit down for 20 minutes and just be. You have the time in your day to like have a brain fart and you're just sitting at your computer like, shoot, I don't really know what to do here. You have the time to have a second lunch, a nap. You have the time for all these things and to get all your work done, get your workout done, eat healthy. Like, you just have the time when you eliminate stuff that doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah. And the nap thing.
Oh my God, the nap thing.
It's not a daily thing, but whenever I want one, I have one. And it like recharges my next couple days. Yeah. And it's like no big deal. Oh, that's what it is. I need a nap. Yep. See you in a bit.
Right.
I don't know how long I'm going to nap for.
No.
We'll find out when I wake up.
Yeah. It's
beautiful.
Super easy to like go to bed early and wake up early too, because of the way the sun works. Like in Canada, I didn't realize that not everyone has the sun setting at 10 p.m. in the summer.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Every day is so similar.
Yeah.
The seasons here are pretty awesome. Like, you know, I was afraid of rainy season. I love rainy season.
Me too.
It is so beautiful. The green, the color, the cleanliness, the washing of everything. The dry season, of course, is what it is. It's hot and it's like, it makes you, I think I nap more in the dry season.
Yeah, I can see that.
The windy season is like fresh air coming through, and everything only lasts for like 2 months.
Right.
You know, it's not like 6 months of darkness.
Right.
Yeah. So, let's take this out with like, what's what's something that you would like to tell somebody that's just started looking to be an expat? You know, like remember when you just started?
Yeah.
Like what advice or what
I would say just take steps slowly, take consistent steps. Whenever you feel like, you know, any anxiety towards it, just take one step. What's the closest, like the least barrier to entry thing that you can do? If you're feeling like, oh my God, am I ready for this? Just go pack something or just go sell something. Just put one thing online. And also just be thinking about, you know, just have some savings, have some ideas of what you want to do. And honestly, you'll be okay. Just trust yourself. Have a good community if you can, wherever you are going. If you don't know anybody where you're going, try and make some friends. It's not really that hard, to be honest, because there's a bunch of other people like here, like you.
Like Canada, let me tell you, there's a lot of
showing up
Canada
here, man.
This is like, we're calling it a Chinook.
Yeah.
Every night, that's where we are. We're in like virtual Chinook.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of people who also don't have their families here, and they also need help from time to time too. And most places that are underdeveloped, it's not uncommon for people to see, you know, oh, I forgot my wallet, and I've had locals just give me the fruit that I was trying to buy. You know, like people are understanding here in a way that it's not in Western cultures. So if you just trust yourself and you have a good attitude and you're generally nice, you're probably gonna be okay.
Yeah, so progress, not perfection. Don't try and get it perfect before you go. Just start selling one thing a day, or you know, and then who knows? It's so weird how you do like just one thing, like, oh, I'm gonna just sell this one thing. Guy shows up to buy it and it's like, oh, I also need a fridge and this couch and all that stuff.
Like,
you know?
okay, go on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think it's been awesome talking with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much, Tony. I appreciate it.
Cool. Oh, as we say every day on Everything Nicaragua, adios, nos vemos.
Oh, good stuff.